Okay, so welcome back after the coffee break. I hope you enjoyed it. And now we restart the workshop with the presentation of the Janos project by my colleague Nora Ganzinelli. Please, Nora, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Giorgio. Thank you. So, hello everyone. I am Nora Ganzinelli, Project and Proposal Manager from RINA Consulting. And today I'm here to share and to show you updates related to the Janos project. I would like to spend a few minutes about general information about this H2020 project. The title of the project is Integration Solutions for the Decarbonization and Smartification of Islands, so fits very well with the flow of the agenda. And this is a very big and interesting project. It's composed by 34 partners all around Europe and includes the demonstration and replication of the solutions that Janos proposed under its concept in two lighthouse islands. In particular, one is Terceira in Portugal, and the second one is mainland in Netherlands. And then also a replication. We have also replication islands that are located in Greece, like Nisyros, Lampedusa in Italy, and we have also a third island that is Bora Bora. So the project was started in October 2020, and now, thanks to an extension of the duration of the project, will be finalized in December 2025. So in this moment, we are in the middle of the finalization of the demonstration phase. So we implemented the different technologies in the two lighthouse islands, and we are approaching the monitoring phase. I decided to report also a brief introduction about the concept of Janos, just to give you an overview. Probably some of you already knows this project and the concept, but very in brief, the project is based on three transition tracks. We define and identify 9 use cases, and we clustered the use cases under the three different transition tracks. And the idea is to demonstrate the three transition track and the different use cases into lighthouse islands, as I said before, in order to help the islands and support the islands, give lesson learned and input to the islands in order to decarbonize their territory and be completely green. So another important objective of our project is to engage people, citizens, stakeholders, but not only, local communities in particular, in order to have their support in the transition, in this important transition. So to this reason, thanks to the collaboration of different partners of the consortium led by New Energy Coalition, that is one of the partners of the Janos consortium, we started an important campaign dedicated to the capacity building trainings of islands. What was done was, we performed capacity buildings in all the islands that in this moment are part of our project. So that means that we went in their territory. We went in mainland, in Terceira, in Bora Bora, in Lampedusa, and in Nisyros, and we tried to spread the Janos message, to engage them, and to support them in their needs and their important ambitions related to this kind of topics. So what means capacity building, and what are the main goals of this kind of activities? Of course, the first important point that we have to keep in mind is the importance of inform communities about important aspects like climate change, what are the renewable energy sources and why they are important for us and for the decarbonization, how we can use them, how we can exploit them, and what are the benefits of their use on our life, and of course also the concept of sustainability. Then another important point during our capacity buildings was the improving communities' accessibility, and also motivate citizens to get engaged with the energy transition. We also spread showcase and best practices. And we try to organize community engagement events in order to increase the impacts of this kind of activities under the islands. So the three main groups that we tried to engage. So our targets were the citizen, the school, and also relevant stakeholders around this kind of topics, like for example, associations, non-governative organizations, communities, but not only. So before to start with our mission, with our capacity buildings on different islands, we started an important training session for the consortium. So we went in Samso, where we asked to the local community to teach us how we can approach with the local communities of other islands, and how I mean, what are the best practices that we can share in order to engage this kind of stakeholders. After that, we started with our capacity building. As I said before, the first group was tailored on the citizen trainings. So we tried to organize specific and dedicated event targeted to them. We tried to engage and involve them using as much as using, for example, social media channels, or, for example, thanks to the preparation of posters, or we ask also to the municipality to support us on this activity in order to involve as much as citizens as possible. We try to organize interactive events, interactive meeting in order to involve them and invite them to share their experience, to share their needs. We try to organize event with the food and with the social atmosphere in order to have benefits of after our specific event. So we try to prepare short presentations and Another important aspect during this kind of events was give them also space and try to learn, give them also time in order to share their point of view and their specific needs. So I also reported here information related to the two tertiary islands because, as I said before, in this moment we are in the middle of the monitoring phase. So that means that we already installed all the technologies within this specific island. We, in particular, put in place two of the 9 use cases that defined and identified under the Janos project. And I was there, so I participated in person to this specific training, and was amazing see people that after work joined the event and together with us started to share their specific needs. We try to support them from the technical point of view, since they or some of them, for example, already have PV plants on their roof. They, for example, needed a support just to better understand how they can switch on the modem, and we help them in all these kind of steps. And was also so important for us because we collect a lot of different feedbacks, and thanks, for example, to so we organize also games, and together with all the local communities, we try to explain them what is the sustainability and why the sustainability is very important for our future, and not only for example, for the lower price of their bills at the end of the month, but also for an important objective and a common objective that together we can achieve. So here I reported also the list of all the technologies that in this moment are implemented in the tertiary islands. And now I would like to share the second group of the second target for our capacity building workshop, that is the stakeholders training. So in this case, of course, we try to tailor all the material in a technical way. So and we try also to organize a meeting that permits also to create a networking occasions, so people joined our workshop section and started also to discuss on possible future business, but I mean not only. And also in this case was so interesting, and of course also in this case we asked an important support from the municipality. Then, last but not least, the school trainings. So, as you can see from all the pictures that I reported under this slide, we went to different schools, and we tried to teach to guys, but not only, also to the teachers and all the staff, general information and general concept like what is the sustainability, why this is important, and what is the climate change, and what are the objectives of Janos, and why these kind of objectives are important. So in this way, each single guy can come back at home and teach also their family about this kind of concepts. And I think that also in this case, this kind of training can help a lot our final objectives. So, yeah, I mean, that's it by my side. And thank you so much. If you want to follow us, please, we have a website. We are so active also on LinkedIn and Twitter. And we are more than happy to collect your answer or your specific, your questions and your specific curiosity, and help you to cover it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Nora. I think Cristina, please, Cristina.
Regarding capacity building, who was in charge to plan capacity building and to follow also schools, scholars and engagement, student engagement?
So, yeah, as I said, it was a long activity that started with a specific training for the consortium in this specific island that calls Samso, that is famous, probably is a Danish island that is very famous all around the world, because it's the first real example of a totally decarbonized island. So they are they represented a very important example for the Janos project. Then, no, they are not part of the consortium. Yeah. We went in Samso just to learn about them, how we can approach this specific activity.
Foreseen or during carrying out the activities
during, yeah, exactly.
It was not something that in the proposal
No,
was
exactly.
expected to do.
Yeah. And then, as I said before, one of the most important partners for these specific activities was the New Energy Coalition, that is partner of the consortium, and they lead all the activities dedicated and related to the capacity building, thanks to the strong support of important cluster of partners of the consortium.
Okay, so you train it and then you use this, let's say, ambassadors to
Yeah. To spread, yeah.
spread and
Yeah.
Just one consideration. You know that in Enjoy we have this replication guidebook. So I think that could be nice, useful for the last deliverables or for the something also to share. At least in terms of methodology, more than creating a new guidebook with follower items.
Yeah, thank you so much.
To be
Yeah.
use.
So we already collaborated in the past with NESOI. A lot of times we take deliverables and informations from NESOI projects. So it's very important example also for the Janos one. So of course we will consider all the materials that NESOI prepared also for our final impacts and deliverables and so on.
Thank you again, Nora. I think it was interesting after some of the lessons learned already presented by Fausto, also seeing how Janos has addressed the capacity building topic, and it will be further covered, I think, by Alessandra later in the next presentation. And we really need these success stories because, as you both highlighted, islands and especially cities and communities need to see what have been done in other contexts and what had success. And since we are talking about capacity building and success stories, from NESOI we have an interesting success story of capacity building related to an Erasmus program. We organized 3 study tours where citizens, experts from some selected islands, again selected through open calls, had the opportunity to visit other islands, Sicily, Orkney Islands, and Archipelago, thank you, to learn what other islands have done and come back to their island with new ideas and new opportunities to implement projects. It's interesting.
Well, this is quite interesting because I think that one of the points missing sometimes is that you started with capacity building, but probably it could be also interesting to have this kind of exchange travel opportunities because you see other experiences and you can share constraints, problems you can face, and that's good for, in particular for small municipalities. They always feel abandoned, no matter if you are in Italy or in Greece or.
And there I think Daphne has in Greece have an important role for this because they put together small islands to support them, and indeed we collaborated a lot in NESOI as well.
So maybe also bridge can cover an important role on it, since they are transversal. They maybe can, work as a connector from different projects with a different experience and put all this kind of experience together. So maybe this is something that bridge can take in. Yeah, exactly.
Some projects are now older, like React, NESOI. That does not mean that the islands that participated to these projects are not willing to continue.
Yeah, of course. Transition.
This exchange. So I think this is something we could cooperate to continue this. We are now municipality, so that was not part of this project, for instance. That could be useful for
Okay, thank you, Nora.
Thank you.
And now we have a presentation of the Stepwise project by Alessandra Montanelli from Sinlock. We are really late, so again, no, it's not for you, but to all the speakers, I recommend to be as fast as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. In the meantime, the presentation is working. I'll introduce myself. I'm Alessandra Montanelli. I work in Sinlock. We are an Italian advisory investment company set in Padova, north of Italy. And we were also the coordinator of the European Island Facility NESOI. You have been learned about this by Mario. And yes, but today I'm here to introduce the Stepwise project, which is indeed about capacity building, but capacity building in the planning phase, so in the very early stage of every initiatives. This is a live project, has been kicked off in December 2023 and will last for 2.5 years. So we are really in the middle of our activities. It's coordinated by IS, and Sinlock is one of the partners, along with R2M, the Energy Agency of Plovdiv, Ceres, Friedrich University, and the Cyprus Energy Agency. So here the target is, as I mentioned, capacity building, specifically oriented to make local and regional authorities autonomous in their in the development of their planning documents. This is, of course, very important for any energy transition, despite the fact that, of course, the Covenant of Mayors, the SECAPs are, I would say, very popular. Still, there are many municipalities that are missing their planning, or they have ones but is not updated because the monitoring phase is actually not performed. So this is an issue, and the point we also learned this in the NSOI project often is about capacity. So we need to also support local and regional staff, I mean the entities involved in the process to gain capacity to be then independent, so to enable the energy transition starting from the planning phase. So the stepwise has this important objective, and will use an use case approach. So we will provide some capacity and trainings, but also focusing on the local context, which is usually something very specific. We are also talking about islands also here. I will show the use cases in a second. But again, the idea is to match the experiences from other projects, EU level, national initiatives, and merge this with the local context, which is something that we believe will be the key factor, let's say, of these initiatives. So Stepwise is developing in particular a toolkit, also providing a digital toolkit, which can support the planning phase with some simulations and analysis which are relevant for the planning. And we will perform a two-wave capacity building program. So again, there is this idea of training the trainers and then to have these replicators able to share with the local context basically their knowledge and to make people happen on the ground. So, as I mentioned, this is the geographical coverage of our initiatives. We are focusing on 3 different use cases. All have, of course, peculiarities and different characteristics. The first one is in Bulgaria. We are focusing here in small municipalities, of course, without a SICAPS. So we will support them also in the development of the plans and then the training for all the people, all the municipalities, to make also the replicability potential real. Then the second use case is in Spain, in particular in the north of the country, where isolated residential areas are located. We have another use case in Cyprus, and then the Med Islands. So we have 3 islands involved so far. We have Cress, we have Crete, and we have Malta. But then, of course, the idea is to, let's say, spread the word and involve more communities, also, for example, involving the Spanish island, the Italian islands, and other Greek islands, of course, or Croatian. I won't focus on this so much because I think that many of the barriers that are common on islands are quite well known here. But let me focus on the fact that indeed islands are really willing to take a step towards their energy transition. Every municipality we are meeting is really willing to do it, but sometimes they lack the capacity, they lack the people. We were talking with Francesca before about the also instability in terms of governance for the projects. So all this needs to be also taken into consideration during the planning phase. And last but not least, the financial aspects. We are economic and financial advisors, so I'm quite sensitive, let's say, to these matters. But financial planning is also something that needs to be addressed at the early stage of the initiatives. So when doing the energy transition plans, also the financial aspects needs to be appointed and included in the study and in the analysis. Okay, I think we can skip this. And I will go directly to the toolkit. So as mentioned, this is a twofold toolkit. We have a non-technical component, which is, as mentioned, will consist of a knowledge repository, collecting all the relevant materials for other initiatives. And we will tailor some materials, some trainings, specifically based on the local context, on the stepwise use cases. And then on the left part of the slide, you have the technical component. So the IS, which is the coordinator toolkit, I will show you some of the functionalities. The toolkit is already existing, but the idea of the project is to implement this further so that it can actually fit with the energy planning. So we have already some components developed, and we will finalize and fine-tuning more so that it can fit with the SECAPs, with the SEAPs, or with the CETAs, which are the Clean Energy Transition Agenda developed by the Island Secretariat, for example. So it's different documents, but basically the contents are all the same. So that's maybe it's a bit too small, apologies, but this is the process for an energy planning. So basically, it looks quite complex, isn't it? But it actually, that's why, I mean, local authorities need support. You start from the baseline definition, okay, so you need to input, of course, a lot of parameters, for example, on the buildings. You have, of course, the weather, roads, transportation, public lighting. So all these elements needs to be collected and will define the baseline model. And then adding, for example, some interventions on renewables, electric vehicles, retrofitting interventions. You create the intervention models. Through simulations, you can have, of course, the idea of the impacts you can generate through these interventions. And projecting this over the years, you can have a so-called roadmap. Okay, so you need to have a clear idea of which is your starting point, which is your target, how you can reach the target, through which interventions, and of course, how to monitor this during the lifetime of your energy plans. And so KPIs for the monitoring is also something relevant. So how can stepwise support in all this process? Basically, the toolkit can help in filling the data when it's difficult to collect. Also dealing with municipalities, we found out that data is an issue. I mean, collecting data is always, could be complicated, especially in small municipalities, so you need support also to fill in the gaps. Okay, otherwise the baseline is not reliable. Okay, and all the simulations, I don't want to say that it doesn't make sense, but okay, of course have a different reliability. So that's the first part of the project, and you will see how in the stepwise toolkit this could be implemented quite easily, because it can merge some also open access platforms, so you can, let's say, input from different sources the data. Then you have the creation of the interventions, scenarios, so you can perform simulations, you can add renewables, you can take off renewables, you can add energy efficiency to buildings level, for example, and all this can be simulated. You can create different scenarios, and you can find also, according, of course, to the results of the simulation, which is the best one fitting with the targets you are pointing out at the beginning, and then, of course, the monitoring. All the process needs to be eased also at local level, because municipalities, I mean, the risk here is that after the creation of the plan, it stays there, because municipalities do not have the competencies also internally to ensure that the progression of the plans is made. And so if we support them in developing the needed capacity also to read the data, to collect the data through the toolkit, they will be then autonomous to perform, even revise the plan, I mean, during the process. Of course, it's a multi-annual process, so through the toolkit, well, I will show you with this example, which is in Kapedes, sorry for the pronunciation, in Cyprus. So it's a small municipalities there in the center of the island. Here, of course, the main targets were carbon emission reduction, and with a specific focus on buildings, and we did so performing some simulations. We were aimed at increasing the renewable energy production, introducing sustainable mobility, develop of green public areas, and climate adaptation. Okay, so everything starts, as I mentioned, from the baseline definition. So first of all, renewables. Again, here some simulations and analysis were made to understand which were the potential for renewable penetration, rainwater runoff of the island, and the outdoor thermal comfort. Okay, it's also the one with the... Okay, excellent. As I mentioned, the toolkit allows you to have also different views, which could be at building level. So here we are considering, for example, the residential sector, but also the tertiary sector. Then you can focus on not only the single building, but a district, for example. So having an aggregated views on how the different intervention can impact. And you can also consider different let's say, sectors, mobility, public lighting, for example. All this together, I'm skipping the slides. Okay. All this together brings to the intervention scenarios. So here you can simulate, as I mentioned before, the different, the different aggregations of interventions. I'm skipping the videos. Okay. And at the end, you have this. You have this report, which will, at the end, be representative of the impacts that you could gain through the different simulations, and this will enable you to understand if the roadmap, which has been created through combining different interventions and technologies, is actually in line with the expectations. The toolkit also provides reports, so you can download it. It's easily understandable, let's say, access for everyone, and that's the point. But now we are in the process of identifying the replicators. So as I mentioned, we have this 2 waves capacity building program. So we have the train of the trainers. So I think it's like the Janus project. So among the consortium, we are sharing our experiences. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are a multidisciplinary consortium. So each one of us is bringing some competencies to the consortium. We are creating a common knowledge about developing SECAPs, everyone from a different angle. And then the idea is to find these replicators who could be, for example, energy agencies because of the local knowledge they have on site. So that's also very important for us. So we need to gain also the knowledge to combine with the, let's say, so it's a sort of top-down and bottom-up approach. So we will combine the both to develop the capacity building program fitting the requirements of the local context. And then the replicators will also be engaged in providing themselves the trainings to the local and municipal authorities. I mentioned energy agencies because they already have a role in this, of course, but sometimes they still struggle with the engagement of the local and regional municipalities. So having this kind of also steps would hopefully is also the process from their side. Replicators could also be private companies, for example, because usually private companies also provide advisory to local regional authorities for developing the SECAPs, but then once they leave, I mean, the SECAPs stays there, okay, so that's also the point. So we will engage them also to make the local regional authorities more autonomous and be aware of what their advisor is doing, okay, so that they can also evaluate, let's say, the work they are performing. Okay, so if you know, of course, about any replicators, please contact us. And, well, that's all from my side. Of course, happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ale. Any question from the audience? No? It seems strange to me that... that
I was a bit fast, maybe.
No, it's perfect.
No, it's actually, we have, maybe you can go back. Oh, no, you're not seeing the screen anymore, sorry. It's actually one digital toolkit, I will say, and we will provide this to some selected beneficiaries, so municipalities in the use, in the use cases. We will provide support through the toolkit so that they can use it themselves. To develop the SECAPs, so at the end of the project we will have also some SECAPs or CETAs or whatever developed through the stepwise toolkit, and then there is this horizontal, let's say, activities about the capacity building, which will be, of course, pilot through the selected beneficiaries, but also target a wider audience of all the local.
We have ICD, ICL. I don't know if you know these tools.
It's not a new one.
Yes, they are pretty new, but they are from IS virtual environment. So it's energy simulation, but these ones are based on neighborhood, for analysis about neighborhood and.
And the replication the use of this toolkit or?
Yeah, also, so the idea is to provide trainings on the SECAPs in general, so the planning in general. So we will teach local authorities how to develop a SECAP, which are the most important, let's say, issues to be tackled, for example, where the attention should be posed. We will also train how to use the toolkit, so in case they want to implement this in their own, let's say, municipalities, they will be also autonomous in doing so. So autonomous and digital are the keywords of this process. But yes, I mean, it's not mandatory, so you will have a capacity building anyway, but of course the toolkit is what will make this process easier. That's the idea of the...
Does the replication considers upscaling?
Does the
replication tool considers upscaling?
Upscaling of the tool itself?
Of
the plan, yes, of course, yes. We are starting from, let's say, selecting some local authorities on the 4 pilots, because we also need inputs from their side, so there will be also an engagement process specifically oriented to them. But then, as I mentioned, the capacity building will be horizontal, because we will also involve more people, more local authorities, also other organizations at private level, for example, working on this.
I think we start writing cycles with the first
yes.
training with the trainers.
Exactly, it will be in November, early November, yes. Yes, please.
Just in terms of some of your communities, are some of them voluntary as opposed to local authority?
Yes.
So how do you address the capacity building for those communities?
Sorry? How
do you train, how do you build up the capacity with people who are volunteers as opposed to full-time?
That's a point. That's a point, especially on islands, where many also initiatives are developed actually by communities, cooperatives, or by people who are not properly, let's say, working for this scope. Yes, that's a point, but we are providing this, let's say, of course, for free. We are trying to also have webinars. We will be on site, so we are still identifying which is the best strategy specifically oriented to each of the different pilots. So, of course, talking about different areas, there are also differences in the approach at, I would say, cultural level somehow. And also when dealing with islands, Greek islands are different from Italian islands, and Croatian from, I don't know, the Spanish. So we are still setting the strategy. We're doing it in these months because it's something very relevant. We discovered this also in the NESOI project. There are language barriers sometimes to be overcome. So it's in, I would say, work in progress, but the idea is to make really every kind of stakeholder involved in this kind of process aware of the initiatives so that they can somehow also benefit from the capacity building. Thank you.
Thank you, Ale. And now I propose moving Cristina's presentation on Masterpiece before Francesca one on Islet, because Cristina needs to leave in, I don't know.
15 minutes.
Okay, so it will be an incentive to be fast in your presentation. And after Cristina's presentation, I propose to have, very, very quickly, of course, a group photo of the speaker, so before Cristina leaves. Then we go on and try to finish before lunch. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I have to leave for the airport for another project. So it's, first of all, thank you for this opportunity, because it was great to see you all. And while I was listening to presentation, it came to me some tips, some new ideas. For instance, something that I would like to see and I really miss is to share, while managing a project, to share moments with other projects. So like, I don't know, a sort of workshop of capacity building or whatever, sharing experiences, but while doing the project. So I would like to see in the communication and dissemination task, hopefully one day, that European Union is covering expenses to organize a workshop, and it maybe could be mandatory. So to share this point, I mean, NESOI and many others, because it could be interesting also while you're doing this, while you're trying to get your best with and maybe facing constraints with capacity building, and learn lessons from a small Danish island and that you can export, but not after years, right now in your project. Although the lesson is coming from another project, but this is my advice to you all, and maybe we can create a capacity building like a big wave going to Brussels to convince the European Commission. So I'm here to present a masterpiece that it's involving a small community in northern part of Sardinia, Berchida. And the title is Energy Community in Complex Context. Complex because it's Berchida is small, is a small place with less than 3,000 inhabitants. Is in Sardinia, that a big island, so that is not remote, but for many things, yes, because you are far from the decision makers and so on. And also for another aspect that probably will affect, from my point of view, our projects in the future. That's something that also it was Fausto just pointed out. So the average age of people is increasing. So Berchida has something like you will see. The average is 49 years old. It's quite high. So we don't have children, and we don't have teenagers, not so much as 20, 25 years ago. And it could be also affecting our projects in many ways. Anyway, masterpiece. We have universities, we have municipalities from Sweden to Sardinia, and we have small, medium enterprises. It's a very heterogeneous group that is challenging sometimes and quite interesting. The project started 1 year ago, 1 year and a half ago, and will finish in June 2006. The aim is to create a digital coordination and cooperation modular platform of services in some way related to energy communities. But from my point of view, it's not the technological point that it's at the focus, but it's using this technology to engage people, local engagement, in order to overcome constraints and problems we are facing for building up the energy community. So technology is serving us, it's not the opposite. Pillars are, of course, innovation, because we want to do innovation, and we want to, and for Berchida, that was quite important, because you will see later, we had the chances also to renovate the station, the substations, so to increase the level of innovation that a small community, small municipality as Berchida has. User-centric solution and cybersecurity infrastructure, because as you know, we are living in unfortunately in a period in which there is a still traditional war, unfortunately, but the next level of war is cyber. So cyber attacks to grid networks, to create problems to our daily life in the community, but also in big communities, not only small. The other pillar is, of course, applicability and replicability. Not only the technological digital platform, which is going to produce some small apps that will be dedicated to the small community, but of course the replicability of what we are doing in Masterpiece. And business opportunities related in particular for small, medium enterprises, because they are developing in some way some not only digital platform, but some services that can be also put on the market. Some technical data aspect. What is interesting for Berchida is that we still don't have the renewable energy community, although it's not only planned, but the mayor of Berchida, that by the way is very active, in July 24, just established the renewable energy community as a status, and so he went and decided to deposit this
status for creating the renewable energy community. But more important is the network, because Berchida is one of the few places in Italy that owns the grid directly. So that's why interesting, and we see Berchida as a pilot in many projects, because they can act directly like a cyber security attack or whatever. They can manage and be active on their own grid without, asking to the national electric company, without any kind of, problems that somebody can imagine. Here we have a direct contact. We can have a direct activity on substation. For a small place as Berchida, we have a quite huge number of photovoltaic systems in residential houses on municipalities as well. And thanks to the Masterpiece project, but also in the way to capture and to be linked to innovation, Berchida started started to change all the meters, the old meters that they have, and now they have smart meters in numbers of 1,500. I think that now they are, they are almost close to this activity. Also, they started renovating the substation, so securing cabin, and it's completely renovated. And I saw at the beginning of this process the old substation that were very old because they were aged like 1950s. So thanks to this opportunity, Berchida completely renovated all the networks, all the grid and the managing grid and services they have. More important, operator control cabins under will be remotely completely controlled. Also the public lighting, so everything will be controlled by remote instruments. I don't want to lose your time about regulation in Italy because it's a problem. So I will skip this way. Let's concentrate on the focus, the thing that it's important that thanks to this new opportunity, there are not repayable subsidies for municipalities with less than 5,000 inhabitants, and we are going to use this financial scheme up to the day in which the government will change. But for the moment, we are concentrating on this one. That it's important because they can use up to 40% of the investment to establish and to create the energy community and new plans that it's necessary and it's mandatory to have as a basis for opening the renewable energy communities. What we have done so far: smart meters, I told you. The mobile interfaces with the Merve program, 9 substations completely renovated, new concentration, public lighting is also controlled remotely, and we started with questionnaire and public events to engage local population. Berchida is a small community. They do lots of religious party events. Every month there's something going on, quite interesting. During, just for your information, during summertime, there's a very important international, very well-renowned jazz international festival organized by Paolo Fresu. That he plays a trumpet and is very famous. So all the water coming from Europe is going to Berchida. So it's an interesting moment to be there. So people are really eager to be involved in something. They have a very strong sense of community, and that's a good starting point from whatever project we have. In particular for a renewable energy community, because it's so complex that if you don't have people engaged, it's very hard to be successful. So some pictures, concentrators, modem, just to show you what we have done so far. Merope platform, so there's the chance to control remotely everything by a computer, also by a smartphone. And this is what we want to do. Unfortunately, it's small, this picture, but this is the interesting part, because in order to engage people, we want to, of course, design and start with what we have, so the grade of ambition, the awareness and education, and then recruitment, engagement, behavioral shift, transition, activation, acceleration of citizen involvement, continuous engagement, that is quite important, not to stop, meeting goals, achieving self-sufficiency, and by chance exporting energy. So not only be sufficient like energy balance, but be able to produce and give more. This is the digital platform that we are going to design. More interesting is these are some tools, in particular Compass and ECOP and many others, but I want to concentrate on Compass, because Compass will give the opportunity to Berkida inhabitants as an app to understand what's going on in like incentive in Italy or in Spain or whatever, but in particular in our place, although the replicability will be in the other countries partners like Sweden and France, but to be continually updated about incentives, about rules emerging in Italy. That's quite important because, as you know, it's not so easy to manage the energy world in whatever country we are talking because of continuously changing. And with this tool, we want to give the opportunity of the single inhabitant to be updated of what's going on in the Sardinia region, in Italy, in the province as well, and will be updated up to the end of the project and probably also after. Some statistical data, quite interesting for Berkida. As you see, we have a rate of female with degree and diploma that it's 30 up to 40% more than male. And we want to use this data for engage the community. And why so important? Because we understood that women are very sensitive about price, about budget, about and with a small workshop we did in Berkida in our last General Assembly for Masterpiece, there were 8 people, 5 women and 3 men. We saw a high rate of interesting. Women are interested, women want to be informed, so they were asking for more opportunity to discuss, to be part of. So that's an interesting data that we want to highlight in Masterpiece, and we want to work with. Yeah, of course, this is what it's emerging about around the renewable energy community. The new degree, people are frightened and a little skeptical of the national regulation, and that's why we want to work with, engage people with explaining what's going on, also explaining maybe the feed-in tariff and the regulations, and also help them to understand that they are an active subject, they are not passive. Although there are problems and regulations are complex, they can eventually work in this framework that is not, it's complicated, but they can be active. Social cohesion, for sure, is the most important, probably, aspect. Like behavioral and habitual energy shifts. From my point of view, the digital platform we are going to build is an innovation that can be at citizen disposal. So people must be the actors of this digital platform. Not the final client, but the active client of this. Behavioral and habitual energy shift. What it's emerged by the first this small workshop is that people are, in particular women, are aware of what activities are good for saving energy. But with this shifting in the renewable energy community, probably they have to shift, in particular if they are consumer or prosumer, then we have to change a little bit the habit. And that's why we want to organize a series of events and workshops to work on these aspects. Next steps, what we want to do. We will concentrate our interest of a case of about 100 people, consumers and prosumers, in order to extrapolate data such as the amount of people consuming energy, and this is the small the utility that is managed by the municipality, Azienda Elettrica Municipale, and they will elaborate and extrapolate this data anonymously to avoid privacy issues, and each meter will be identified by its pod. We will work with these numbers and then set a meeting and workshop with the experience that is one of the partners that is very engaged on the design thinking as well, in order to define the next steps for this renewable energy community that is going to be established in the following months. Thank you. I was running, but I have to run away.
Thank you very much, Cristina. Now we will see how your lessons learned and your result will compare with Islet, and again with Emilio we will talk about Berkida, but you will watch the recording to know.
Yeah, and I'm at your disposal, so please write me, because I want to really share experiences. So let's keep in touch, because this is the most important lesson for being here in a sustainable place. Thank you.
Thank you, Cristina. Group photo, come here. All the speakers, please. Yeah. Somebody who is not speaking. Is available.
One question. Did you manage after the municipality? Thank you. But did they manage to have a set up a local energy community? Was it the Neon project?
What's it?
The Neon project.
The Neon project? No, it's just it's just started now in a few months ago.
Okay.
Okay.
It's important because they did manage to start one in reactor too.
Oh, I see.
No, I thought it was after Neon. No, but
Nora, è andata in bagno.
Dove
È andata in bagno.
sì. Scusate, sorry. Wrong moment.
Come in.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Alla prossima.
Ciao,
Have a
caro.
good trip.
Thank you very much. We will
No,
keep in touch.
buon viaggio. Ciao, ciao, grazie. Okay, now we come back to the original agenda, and we have the presentation of the Islet project by Francesca Battistelli. Please, Francesca, the floor is yours. Thank you. Sì.
Okay, good morning. I'm Francesca Battistelli. I'm from the CNR, the Institute of Atmospheric Pollution Research. And I'm coordinating this islet project. It is funded by LIFE program, so it's not a research project, but it's more about application. And I would like to thank the previous speakers because I can go quick on some issue. Islet is a project focuses on the energy community. I don't know why there is this animation very. Focuses on the energy community building in a small island, and we have a consortium composed by, let's say, support organization in 3 countries: Italy, Greece, and Croatia, and with universities dealing with the economic and financial solution. And Federend that is dealing with the replication and communication activities. We have 3 pilot islands and 4 test islands. The principle is to apply the process in both non-interconnected and interconnected islands. It is the project is mainly addresses to the municipalities because the call was for support municipalities to provide services or general support to the citizens that want to build the energy communities in different ways. I mean, the community, the municipalities can be part or not be part of the energy community, but they can provide support in different cases, for example, providing roof or facilitate the meeting of potential members or whatever. This is the first pilot island, the Stress, that is engaged in many energy projects. So this is one of this is engage people in community-based energy activities. Each island has some specific feature. So we try to choose different situation in different countries. This is the energy community cooperative. I quite already existing in Croatia, but there is some specific issue about the energy communities as the directive of the European directive definition states. But we are trying to solve this issue, and this is the main issue for Stress. Astipalia is the second pilot island. It's in Greece. It's a very nice island. I visited with the Nezoi Erasmus project. So Daphne is the support partner. So if you have some question about Astipalia, maybe Kostas is your also Astipalia have had some existing project, energy related project about energy mobility, and in Astipalia the energy communities will focus also in mobility issue and in developing innovative model that include partnership with the private sector. And for Italy, the pilot island is Procida. This is an island with very high density of the inhabitants. It is very small, but there are like 10,000 inhabitants, and it's very close to the mainland. So there are the typical issue of distance from the mainland are not the problem in Procida. But there is a issue typical of Italian island as the constraint about landscape and social acceptance of renewables. I had a question for previous about the moratorium in Sardinia, but I will not change.
Maybe you can have it for the next, for Emilio.
Okay.
He's from Sardinia as well.
Okay. And there are in Italy, compared to the other countries, we have less, let's say, entrepreneurship motivation or cultural approach. So we are dealing with many investment, mobilizing investment in Procida. The, let's say, barrier for the island, I will go quick because you more or less know well. It's maybe too small. Concerning the energy communities aspect, the main problem is that there are different peaks of consumption in small island, in Mediterranean island more specifically, because people living in summer in island has even 5-7 times more than in winter. So we have to manage the demand supply curve, let's say, and of course there are problems about investment, as the return of investment are low because of the small dimension, and of course the Italian island, but in the general Mediterranean island there are environmental issues to be solved, as the migration of bird, trade, and some constraint about landscape and legislative issue. In Italy, I don't know if in Greece also, but in Italy, for example, we have 3 levels of regulation, so regional, national, and local. Often this match, so there are more. This is more. This is the impact foreseen, but I will go quickly about that and we'll go to the lesson learned to now. The project started 1 year ago, so we are now in the building process of the energy communities. There are things that some speakers before me have already said. There is the first one, and the most important is there is no one-size-fits-all solution, because the islands are very different, and there are many features that can change the solution, the actual solution at local level. And the let's say the community feeling is that they are like the special communities, and like them there are no other island and islanders. So this is a very important point to take into account. And we have to consider regulative barriers and social barriers, and not only technical ones. Energy communities are mainly a topic dealt by engineers, and in island project there are many engineers working on. So, but the fact is that what we try to do with island, it is looking at the general processes, so the social acceptance and the, let's say, community animation are important, and we will try to make a social assessment and environmental assessment as well. And so maybe it could be interesting also to partner with the different projects that foresee this aspect, and also tools for simulation or different different, let's say, lesson learned from other islands. On the island, energy it could be related to the waste cycle and the water. So it could be interesting to study also the water energy nexus or the water waste energy nexus, because, for example, the desalination plant could be a storage, could have a storage use, and also could be useful to balance the different demand during the year. And the involvement of the municipalities is important in general in the small municipalities, for my experience of energy community, because in the small communities the mayor or the leader can mobilize people, but also on the island, because the municipalities could honor some specific useful building to produce energy, for example schools that are closed when the people are there are many people on the island. So this could be, that could produce energy when the demand is higher. Okay, we will draft a model and we will look what will happen in the 3 pilot islands. Then we will also test the model in 4 test islands that are Diapontia in Greece, Korčula in Croatia, Giglio Island in Italy, and Gozo. There are all islands with different characteristics from the first ones, so we can check what will happen. And we will organize peer-to-peer training events. I mean, the aim is to let the municipalities representative to meet and exchange experience, and also a leader of energy communities to learn from the other island. This is, in fact, is a specific request coming from the island. In Procida events, we met people, and they asked, for example, to meet the Ventotene Island, that is the first island having an energy communities. It was more interesting for them meet Ventotene as island than, for example, closer energy communities, but in the mainland. So this is so the gather together the island experience. It will be the main strategy for the replication part that will start very soon, I think, in the end of this year. So of course I will take your address in your I will keep you informed about the replication strategy, and maybe you can also bring your experience in the peer-to-peer training event we organized. We will have next spring, in probably April, May of the next year, the midterm conference. We will talk specifically about energy community in Ireland, so I can provide you information about that. And okay, so this was my presentation. And,
thank you, Francesca. It's interesting to see how energy communities topics and to be more social, economic, and legal related than technically related, because of course they can be even very complex technically speaking, but the main barriers that you need to overcome are of different type. We have a question, please.
Question regarding the water energy nexus you quickly mentioned. Is that a part of the project? Have you done any study on energy and water nexus?
We will study at local level. Procida have not, for example, a desalination plant, as Stipalia has. It depends from the islander what we will decide to have, and we are building the community, and the next year will be more for the technical decision. Also, we would like also to involve citizen in deciding the characteristic of the energy community. We will have the University of La Sapienza that will simulate different organization and different supply or production or different combination of prosumer and consumer in the 3 pilot islands. And yes, it could be a possibility. It also depends from the ownership of the desalination plants, and if the islander are able to involve the owners, or maybe are the owners themselves.
I have a second question regarding these innovative supporting schemes. Like, what are these schemes in general? Are these in form of subsidies that the governments support the communities, or is it like teaching the communities to like invest in renewables?
Yes, is supporting the community to find their way, let's say. In each country, the situation is very different. There are feed-in tariff. There are incentives for example, buy or build the plants for the energy communities. In some countries, it's impossible to have an energy communities. But the idea is to find a way to help the communities to find their way and train the people to also to, let's say, to provide a bit of energy literacy. That I think it will be one of the higher impact of energy communities in Europe. People doesn't matter about energy issues. But the price, but even the price is not so clear. So I think it's also one of the impact of the energy communities will be the create an energy literacy more developed. But it is my opinion.
Thank you, Francesca. And now we can move to the next presentation. We are going back, thank you, to Berchidda, with the presentation by Emilio Ghiani from Cagliari University of the local REST project. Thank you, Emilio.
Okay, good morning to everybody. I'm Emilio Ghiani. I work in the University of Cagliari as Associate Professor of Power Systems, and I teach energy production, renewable systems, and smart grids in the University of Cagliari. I'm speaking now as a consultant for the Berchidda municipality in this project. That the project is local RES. In particular, I'm following this part of the project because I am the point of contact of the municipality with R2M that are developing the pilot site in Berchidda. And in particular, in this case, we talk about the use of heat pumps and the energy management system, the optimal energy management system of these heat pumps that are going to be installed in the municipality of Berchidda. Just some words about the project. Maybe many of us already know this project, so I can also skip quickly the project. I would like only to know just a few words about these the several pilot sites that are in the projects. We have 5 pilot sites. In each of these sites, there will be an energy community. As you know, the directive of the energy community in Europe is general, and each country implements its own energy community framework. And in particular, in Sardinia, as was said also before by Cristina Barbero, was defined the first step of the creation of the energy community. This happened in April 2004, and actually there are 15 families that have been included as members of the energy communities, and also there are among them there are other families that are not in the energy community, but they are participating to the project, the pilot project, that in that case the local res has forecasted for these families 9 installation of heat pumps with the objective, with 2 main objectives. The first objective is to evaluate also the energy savings in substituting the old heat pumps that are not efficiency with new heat pumps. And the second objective is to optimize the functioning of these heat pumps in order to realize an optimization in terms of improve the incentives that the people can obtain with the energy community framework. Here you can see the position of all the houses where the heat pumps will be installed in all the city. As said before also by Cristina, the particularity of Berchidda is that in terms of power system, we can consider an island inside the island, no? Because it's a small power system that is installed inside of Sardinia, no? And currently there are several installations undergoing in the city, also about the photovoltaic system, no? That will be included in the energy community. And also there are many tanks like this that will be substituted by the new heat pumps. These are only electrical, classical, electrical. The name is correct, not the. I'm forgetting now the. Scaldabagno, come si chiama in
water heater.
Well, water heater, but there is another name also. Specific.
Resistance heater.
A boiler,
boiler,
yes, the boiler, yeah. Electric boiler, yeah. Yes. Talking about the question of the guy that is back, about incentives, you asked it before, no? About the incentives. In Italy, there is maybe the more advanced regulation for energy communities. And in Italy, we have an incentive that is of 110 euros per megawatt hour for the energy that is produced and consumed inside the energy community. So the most important thing is that you have to consume the energy when there are renewable systems that are producing this energy. If you are able to consume the energy in this period, you get the incentives, otherwise not. No, this is the main incentive to develop also a new renewable system like PV plants or also wind, but in general in the cities, in urban context, the main source of energy is a photovoltaic system. So, taking into account this one, in Berchidda there are several medium voltage substations, and from this medium voltage substation there are many houses that are connected to the distribution grids. So how the system works, no? In general, the energy community works. In general, if I consider a cluster of nodes, so a cluster of users, you can have in these users passive users or active users, or prosumers, as you can know, as you can mention them. And it's important to define which and to calculate also which will be the produced energy, which will be the self-consumed energy, which will be the energy withdrawn from the network, the energy feed to the network, and the shared energy. The incentive is for the shared energy. So I have to produce in many sites, I have to consume in other sites. I have to consider, to calculate this shared energy in order to take the incentive. For this reason, we are going to install in each of the houses that are part of the project energy management system. That this energy management system is connected to the user load by sensors, and in some cases there's also energy storage. And this energy management system is able also to evaluate, to know which is the energy that is produced in the various plants of the energy community. In order of the energy that is produced in the energy community, this energy management system is able to activate or not the heat pumps, no? With the objective, I was saying before, to increase the self-consumption during renewable energy production. We are using to do that KNX technology. I don't know if you know this kind of technology. Is quite open source technology that people can define the optimization of the working conditions of the system. And all these things are going to be installed in Berkida. New heat pumps with the connection system, with the HMIs, with other systems to control the system. So the objective in this case, and this is a simulation that we hypothesized for the working in Berkida, and as you can see here, we can see the total load of one house, a typical house, the total load, the PV production of all the system, all the PV system that are in the energy community, and the HP load and the uncontrollable load. No? Inside each building there is some load that's not possible to control. The only load that we can control is the heat pump, the green one. Okay? We did some simulations for the typical day in summer, and here is the behavior. And we compare this behavior with the optimized one, okay? In which way this is optimized, just increasing the consumption of heat pumps, so using the house like a thermal storage, no? With the capacity, the isolation capacity of the houses is very important in this case also to check which is the inside temperature of the house or the building. So in the model that we are developing, we are trying to take into account all these parameters, and we hope for the next meetings also to show which will be the real data that we will acquire from the simulation studies that we'll do, not the simulation study, the data that we will acquire from the real case that where the installations will be done. In particular, just considering this kind of simulation, we can see that we move the load during the renewable energy production, and just for simulation we obtain about 10% of increasing of the consumption during the days. To this 11% correspond also more 11% in the money related to the incentive for the energy community. Okay, this is maybe the last slide. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Emilio. Just a curiosity, are you integrating, in addition to heat pumps, to exploit the surplus electricity production, also something related to electric vehicles?
Electric vehicles, there are not electric vehicles available now, but there are some storage devices. Also, I don't know if also Estia projects is included in the bridge. No, maybe not.
In bridge, yes.
Estia also was included. Yeah, because we are trying to use the storage that was already available in Estia project, also in this kind of optimization and in general in the optimization of the energy community. You know, that is most important to consume this energy when there is renewable energy. So if you have also some storage that can be used, this storage can differ the load, no, the network, and can provide more money for the people and in general for the energy community. That can be used also for social aspects.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
Yeah,
please.
Thanks for this interesting presentation. I have a quick question. Like, do you have a plan to include other appliances like the dishwasher and washing machine and other stuff?
I asked also to put some money on this, but maybe it was not possible. Yeah, because in the plan, in the project, the grant was only for heat pumps, not for other kind of equipment. But it's a proposal that I'm doing also in other projects where I'm involved, to buy also, for instance, to change, from the traditional kitchen with induction kitchens, for instance. And maybe the most difficult thing is to involve the citizen in all these projects, because we speak together, and for us everything is clear, everything we can do, everything. But when you speak with people, it's very difficult to convince. The only way to convince people is to give for free, kitchens, heat pumps. But it's also difficult because they are different, Also, if you say them that I'm giving you for free an heat pump, do you want the heat pump? No, I don't want the heat pump because I have to modify my wall from here. I have to move something there. No, it's very difficult to convince people to participate in this project.
And again, we go back to social barriers.
Yeah.
We have 1, 2 more questions. One only.
Depends on the CO2 that you have on the electric network. But I understand that for the people, they prefer the self-consumption to get money. But if in the future everybody do that, that will be very, very difficult for the network.
Yeah, but the problem now that we are experimenting in Sardinia, in general in Italy, is the problem due to the huge quantities of photovoltaic systems. So during the day, usually the networks are in overvoltage status. So it's better consume energy when there is an exceeding of production.
Yes, I understand
but
better.
the things, yeah, but also in the network, yeah, because in general, maybe in Bermuda there is no this risk, because the renewable energy is not so much. But in general, the consumption when there is energy production by renewables is a good thing for the network also.
Yes, I understand that's the good thing, but I think we could have some calculation to look the
currently
the network and the self-consumption, and then to
No, you are right. You are right, but currently in Bermuda there are not this problem because the load is not so much. The network is oversized for the load, and also the renewable energy is not so much, so there are no problems. But there are many places where this is a problem that they are taking into account, and in some cases also the PV system cannot produce because the voltage is too high and they have to be stopped.
Thank you again, Emilio. And now we have the last session focused on energy storage with my two colleagues, Alessandra Cuneo and Nora Ganzinelli. We start with Alessandra and the Sinogenes project. I kindly ask, both of you to close the workshop. To close the workshop at 1, so we can have 1 hour of lunch break.
Yes,
Thank you. And thanks to all of you who are staying here and not leaving to the lunch. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Giorgio. In this, let's say, I will try to be as much fast as possible. I would like to present you the Sinogenes project, which is a project that is mainly related to storage innovation. It's really a technology-oriented project. But in this project, we have as a different demo I will present you later, and one of them is an island. So we will get in touch and understand which are the problems in the island and how energy storage could support the energy transition of the island. So I will go very quick on the project presentation. That it's a project that started in January last year. It's a 4-year project. It's a quite big consortium because it's involving 27 partners from 5 different European countries and 6 different demo sites that include different demand sectors, so from Iceland, industrial sector, residential, agriculture, mobility, in order to, let's say, full aim of the project is to design and demonstrate a storage innovation toolkit that have the aim to develop innovative technologies and application, and in parallel a toolkit in terms of tools that can support the integration of energy storage in order to, let's say, render the energy storage as one of the game changer in the, let's say, acceleration and successful of the energy transition. So the motivation behind is related to the environmental sustainability, to the reliance of energy grids, to the continuous integration of renewable energy sources, and to the fact that the effective storage, let's say, can play a pivotal role in the integration of renewable energy into the grid. And for this, we need technical requirements, we need regulation requirements, we need standards that can support this transition. So the full objective of the Synogenes project are related to the development of such a versatile suite of energy storage technologies. So during the project we will develop and test the thermal, electrical, mechanical, hydrogen storage system, and to create an optimization tool that, let's say, for collective the potential of the storage, also to provide flexibility service to the grid, so also to understand how the storage can support the resilience of the electrical grid. And of course, through the project, we will demonstrate the practical impact of such different innovative solution in a real-world scenario, and we aim to engage the different end users and sectors to provide a solution that could be, of course, practical and economically for the different stakeholders that we are targeting. We are now in the phase of the development of the realization of each individual tools and each storage technologies in order to develop what we call the Syno toolkit towards the deployment and integration of the different technologies in the demonstration campaign. So we already analyze which are the requirements in terms of market, in terms of regulation, in terms of course, technical requirements, and already start the definition of business use cases for the different stakeholders, and now we are in the phase of the development and the realization. The demonstration campaign will start in more or less 1 year from now. This is just, let's say, a short recap, because one of the aim of the Synogenes project is to demonstrate how energy solution technologies could be suitable to provide different type of services to the grid. So based on the technologies that we are talking about, if we are talking about thermal storage, if we are talking about electrochemical storage, if we are talking about mechanical storage, we can, let's say, the duration could be different, and so also the type of services that we can provide to the grid could be more related to distributed service or to the bulk services. These are the 7 type of energy storage systems that we are going to, let's say, we are in the manufacturing phase towards the demonstration in the different pilot sites. And as you can see, we have a very versatile portfolio of solution, both from, let's say, mechanical storage, electrical storage, hydrogen storage facilities, so to work with power to gas application. We have, let's say, flow battery storage facility, we have ultracapacitor, and let's say, in order to evaluate different type of technologies in different applications. This is a scratch of the Syno tool, so the, let's say, suite that we are going to develop that can support the different stakeholders in understand which is the energy value chain and understand how the storage could be integrated in their system, which kind of flexibility they can provide, aspect related, of course, to the environmental and economic impact. So the idea is to have a tool that can support at 360 degree the study, integration, and evaluation of these technologies, both from a technical, economical, regulatory, and market point of view. These are the 6 demo sites that are included in the project. 2 of them in Soria and in Huesca, related to Spain, are related to multi-technology storage technologies in multi-energy carriers. So we have a geothermal energy potential for district heating in urban microgrids, and a local energy community in Huesca. We have 2 different types of storage that will be tested in 2 industrial environments, one specific in Portugal related to the batteries and thermal storage. And let's say in this demo we focus on the power to gas, so connected to an electrolyzer. And another one that is mainly related to electricity storage and in Germany for heat and electricity aspect. The last 2 demo sites are more related to transport and insular system. So the first one in Switzerland are related to, energy storage and distribution of hydrogen to urban and freight mobility. So also working on electrical vehicle. And the last one is related to the development of an hydro pump storage in a non-interconnected area in Greece. So in particular, the location that we are studying is a geographical location among Icaria and Samos Island in Greece, in which we would like to valorize the hydro pump storage that is already installed in Icaria to evaluate which can be, let's say, the grid integration scenario for both the islands. So the idea is to study how the pump and storage plant can provide frequency and non-frequency balancing services to both the islands. So it's really focused on the electrical part to having the grid connection of the islands more resilient and safety. So we will study all the technical, of course, and economical assessment from the perspective of the hydrogen, the hydro storage plant, also to study which are the deterioration and aging of the plant components from also a material point of view and of life point of view, and which can be somehow the utilization rate for the provision of the services let's say, evaluating different operational scenario of the plant. So let's say the future scenario of design and why we are, let's say, studying this use case is also to understand which could be the future grid integration of the Samos Island with, let's say, the North Edging Island through some high voltage cable system in order to valorize, let's say, the hydro pump storage and to, let's say, support the island decarbonization. So we have several targets that we would like to achieve in terms of production of the hydro plants, in terms of reduction of the cost, and of course of the footprint in order to support, which is the increase of the renewable energy sources in, let's say, the penetration rate in the grid. And let's say we are in the phase of course, waiting the demonstration campaign, so to understand if all what we are doing now will have, let's say, we are able to achieve the target that we evaluate during the proposal phase. So of course, as a general, the project will have let's say, transversal activities related to the environmental and economic impact assessment and the business model development. But let's say, also to leave the floor to my colleague for the other project, I will finish here. You can find here, let's say, all the details to connect to the project in terms of social media, website, and so on. Thanks to you for for remaining here, even if the lunch break is already started.
Thank you, Ade. And Nora is already ready for her presentation, so if there is any question for Alessandra, maybe we can do during the lunch. Yes.
Of course.
Thank you. So, hello once again. Today I have also the chance to introduce you to the SMILES project. The SMICE project aims to design, create, and then demonstrate a safe and sustainable hybrid energy storage system. So in particular, the two hybrid packages that the project is implementing are the first based on an aqueous supercapacitor and on a redox flow battery. And the second one that's called salt-based hybrid energy storage system is composed by, again, an aqueous supercapacitor and a molten salt battery, the so-called Zebra battery. So what we will do within this project, of course, we would like increase the energy density and the high power of the whole system, but we would like support all the ancillary services. So we would like implement smart and very fast ancillary services, thanks also to a smart energy management system. Going more into detail, our objectives. So the objectives of the SMICE project are, in principle, from the sustainability point of view, our goal is to reduce the carbon footprint less than 40% compared to the state of the art of the battery energy storage system already into the market. Then from the performances point of view, our objective is to increase the energy and the power density up to 25% compared to the single energy management system. From the reliability and availability point of view, we would like increase it up to 20% compared to the single energy management system. And then we have also, of course, economics objectives on our projects, and in particular, we would like improve the cost of the storage system that we would like put into the market, also considering the possibility to increase the lifetime of the hybrid energy storage system that we are proposing within the project. So here I reported general information about the consortium. We are 16 partners. The project is coordinated by Fondazione Bruno Kessler in Italy. The coordinator is an Italian coordinator. And all the partners are committed, and each of us put the specific competencies in order to develop and implement all the phases of our project that start from the design of the hybrid energy storage solutions that we are proposing. Then we will pass to the second phase that is focused on the development of the core technologies that we are implementing, then the deployment of 3 demo sites at relevant TRL, because not our idea, but our objective and our impact, and then our expectation is to achieve TRL 7, 8 at the end of the project. And then, last but not least, we will focus our activities on the exploitation of the results. We will implement a strong business case in order to support the exploitation of the technologies and the use of immediate use of the technologies in the market. So how we have in mind to demonstrate our technologies. We have 3 different demo sites with different characteristics located in different geographical area. So among our demo site there is also an island, and this is the reason why I am here today. And as I said, the idea is to achieve an high TRL among the SMILES project, and for this reason our demonstration are at industrially relevant size, and our implementation will run more or less for 1 year, and at the end, after a monitoring phase, we hope that we are able to achieve the market at the end of the project. We defined different use cases among the project that are islanded grid, industrial microgrid, provision of grid services, electric vehicle charging, and of course a combination of them. As I said, the idea is to demonstrate them in different in different demo sites. The first one that I'm presenting you today is the Sonoe campus in Portugal. So this is an industrial and business park that integrates office buildings and office buildings and so on. They already have different technologies, different kind of stuff already installed, so like a solar system, lithium-ion batteries already installed. And the idea in this case is to implement our hybrid package, the ACUS hybrid energy storage system of this MICE project, in order to in order to support the whole building and the whole campus on the decarbonization, essentially. So then the second demo site is the Graciosa Island, that is already mentioned during this workshop. As of course, there are a lot of different activities already ongoing on the island, but in this case, it's not important in this moment go to explain you how they are working well on the through the decarbonization objective. But also in this case, the idea of SMILES is going to support them thanks to the implementation of our innovative hybrid energy storage system. And in particular, in this case, we are going to implement a salt-based hybrid energy storage system that, I repeat myself, but is composed by an ACUS supercapacitor and a mold salt battery system. Then the third demo site that we have among the SMILES project is another campus in Germany. This campus is a Fraunhofer campus, so it's most famous center for the research in Germany. They already have different stuff already installed in the campus. They already have also an hybrid system already installed in the campus, but in this case our idea is go to implement other 2 tanks and increase the capacity expansion of the storage system that in this case is composed by a supercapacitor, ACUS supercapacitor, and a vanadium redox flow battery. Then I think that I can close here this presentation, since this is also a, it's a young. It's an horizon project, but it's very young. So it was started last year. So I hope to have the chance next year to jump again to sustainable places and show more updates also in the context of SMILES with also more technical data. Thank you.
Thank you, Nora. And with the very limited conclusions, just would like to thank all the speakers and all the audience for participating, and we can continue discussing while having lunch. Thank you. Yes, a reminder to please join the workshop on the SAM workshop agreement developing in the ZOI at 4 p.m. here, same room. Thank you very much.